Something that's always gripped and intrigued me are photos that were taken right before a disaster hit. These photos are usually the last moments of a person's life, or life as they know it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Today we will be looking at 6 photos that were taken just before disaster hit. So here's the first. This photo is the last image captured by photographer Robert Landsberg. In May of 1980, Landsberg was a freelance photographer who had spent the last few weeks documenting the volcano at Mount St. Helens. People were told that it could erupt and there was a danger zone put around the base of the volcano. His station wagon was parked near Sheep Canyon, which was about 4 miles west of Mount St. Helens. On the 18th of May 1980, Landsberg had begun documenting Mount St. Helens as usual. However, today was unlike the last few weeks, as on the 18th of May, it erupted. Landsberg knew he couldn't outrun the volcano, so with extreme bravery, he stayed and captured the moments of it erupting. He took photos right up until he knew he was running out of time. He used the last of his time to wind up his film, put it back in his case, put his camera back into his bag, put that bag into his backpack, and laid on his bag in an attempt to protect it. The film lived on, but he died of asphyxiation from the volcanic ash. The danger zone that was around the base of the volcano was actually too small for the area that it ended up affecting. Landsberg shot a few photos, but this was his last. His body was found 17 days after the tragedy. This next photo is the last photo of Robert Overcracker. Overcracker was a professional stuntman who decided to create a deadly stunt in order to raise money and awareness for the homeless. His plan was to ride a jet ski to the brink of Niagara Falls, where he would then deploy a rocket-propelled parachute and be rescued below the falls. However, when he got to the brink, his parachute did not deploy, and this is the last photo of Overcracker alive. His body was found later and he was taken to hospital, but unfortunately he was pronounced dead on arrival. You might recognise this next photo as it is pretty well known. This photo is of the crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger. This is the last photo of the crew as they were about to board the shuttle. On the 28th of January 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger was set to launch. The sign-off for the Challenger mission was unusual, as the cold temperatures caused some concern. The concern was not enough though, and the mission was to go ahead as planned. Devastatingly, within 73 seconds of its launch, the rocket would break due to an O-ring failure due to the cold weather and wind shears. The shuttle disintegrated 46,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean and killed all 7 crew members. This was the 25th space mission from NASA, but not the first to end in disaster or lives being lost. Apollo 1 was the first space mission to end in 3 lives being lost. This next photo was taken by Darsh Patel, who was hiking in New Jersey when he spotted this black bear and took a photo of it. He was hiking with 4 of his friends and was warned by a couple who were going the opposite way that a black bear was following them. The group of 5 decided to continue with their hike, not worrying about the bear that they had been warned about. They found the bear and stopped 300 feet away from it. Darsh took a photo of the bear, but this would be his last, as not long afterwards the bear would chase Darsh and end up taking his life. This photo was taken on Darsh's phone, and the phone would later be recovered with an animal bite mark in it. In 1912, on the 10th of April, the RMS Titanic would set sail from Southampton in England. Just 5 days later, the ship would hit an iceberg and sink beneath the sea level, killing more than 1,500 passengers. This is said to be the last photo taken of the Titanic whilst it was afloat. One of the biggest tragedies in British history, the Titanic was said to be unsinkable. Due to this, there were only enough lifeboats for around 1/3 of its passengers on board, as they presumed they would never need to use them. Due to the bacteria that is currently feeding on the wreckage of the Titanic is expected to fully collapse by the year 2030. This well-known photo of John Lennon is one of the very last pictures to ever be taken of him. It features John Lennon signing autographs for fans, but in this photo only one fan is captured in the still. Mark David Chapman was a security guard in Hawaii and an obsessed fan of Lennon's. Chapman knew where Lennon was staying and formulated a plan to kill him. There is a lot more to this story and the planning that Chapman went to ensure that he would kill Lennon. If you would like a full video on this, please let me know. Pop that into the comments and I will make a full video on the killing of John Lennon. At around 5 p.m, Lennon left the Dakota building and Chapman pushed a John Lennon album into his face, which Lennon signed before getting into his limo. When Yoko Ono and John Lennon returned at about 10 p.m, Chapman was waiting. As Lennon walked into the archway of his apartment building, the Dakota, Chapman shot Lennon a few yards away with a Charter Arms undercover .38 special revolver. John Lennon was shot dead on December the 8th, 1980. Chapman didn't run from the police though. He stayed at the scene and waited for the police to arrive whilst reading the novel The Catcher in the Rye. Chapman got 20 years for the death of John Lennon and became eligible for parole in the year 2000. He has since been denied parole every 2 years because the parole board cannot reach a unanimous decision. He has been denied parole 12 times so far. So that was a very short video from me, but honestly I didn't know if people would like this one, so I kept it short because I can always do more if you like this type of content. If you would like to see more spooky and true crime content, do feel free to subscribe to the channel. As soon as a new video goes out, you get alerted and then you don't miss anything that I post on this channel. To add to that, I am now on TikTok. I have no idea what I am doing. My handle there is @SarahSinister. I also have an Instagram. It is very unloved because, again, I'm just trying to do too much, honestly, and failing at all of it. But all the links that I can give you, I will put in the description of this video. I was going to do a short for the content of the next video, but actually I'd like a vote from yourselves. So for the next video, would you prefer Japanese spooky stories and folklore? Or would you prefer the story of Mama Cass from the band The Mamas and Papas? And if you don't know Mama Cass, you definitely know the Mamas and Papas. They had the hit single California Dreaming. So I believe you'll definitely know that song, but you might not know her tragic story. So please let me know which one you would prefer in the comments below. I absolutely love speaking to all of you. When I get a little notification, I get really excited about it. So do feel free to message, well, on YouTube, comment, and let me know what you'd like to see from this channel. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.